Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here today. We're gonna do something so different. Spirit just really has me wanting to do a collective message. I just witnessed something that is quite alarming. Wow. Okay, so I'm opening a deck right now, the Queen of the Moon Oracle, and discernment is on the bottom as I flip this over. Wow. Listen, okay, so something happened. I witnessed somebody that I had been watching for a while. I'm not going to obviously say this person's name, but I'd been watching them, watching their journey, watching, you know, the content they're putting out. It's not so much a journey; it was just content, basically. And I see what's happening. There is a lot of serious spiritual warfare going on in this person's life, but all around the world. And what I've noticed is the proud and the mighty are falling, right? They're falling. So a big message: stay modest, right? When you're at the top and you're doing well, stay humble, okay? When you're low, down and out, stay kind, okay? What is happening is, quite frankly, what looks like, the fucking apocalypse. So it really showed me just how much people that are not aligned with their higher self. It doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account. It does not matter how, how good you look, how I think that we all need to start looking at things like, I don't know, people, who you are in your heart space, not so much what you look like, what you wear, what you wear, who you wear, what kind of money you have circulating in your bank account. I feel like there's so many people right now in today's day and age that we're waking up, right? There's so many people waking up, but what you're needing to realize is not a lot of people right now have the experience that you do that are my viewers. I feel like you guys are actually quite advanced in your spiritual journey. Not a lot of people have this experience yet. So they've been pretty great at the world, handling the world stuff, where a lot of you, more spiritual people, it's actually quite the opposite. You guys might, if you compare yourself to others, it looks like you're failing. It looks like you're a failure in a way. And I know what this feels like. I just spoke with somebody yesterday, the same thing. They're like, I sometimes feel like a failure when it comes to, worldly affairs. It's like everybody compares me to them and it looks like I'm not doing as well, but I'm pretty content. I'm happy. I enjoy what I do. I live a simple life. I love my simple life. And I think that you're winning. You're winning in that instance. So I'm going to pray. I'm going to ask that Spirit channel through. Holy Spirit, please come through to assist me with this channeled message for the Divine Collective on my channel at this time. Thank you, God. Please keep me safe as I channel. Archangel Michael, please be around me during this entire stream, so I can accurately give a message to the Divine Collective that needs it at this time. All right, I just heard you're going to be proven right. You are going to be proven right. Again, this is where you stay humble. This is where you stay kind, because you know that it was given to you by God. That knowing, that awareness, that higher consciousness, that ability to access God, right? Your higher mind, that was a gift, right? So you stay humble, you stay kind, but you are about to see people expose themselves for what they are, okay? I just heard unprepared. You're about to see people expose themselves for being as unprepared as they are. Now, this is where I was going with this originally. While you had a delay, right? I think a lot of us kind of are late bloomers. I'm 33 years old. I have no kids, no husband, no pets. I'm a late bloomer. I am what people would consider a late bloomer. When it looks on paper like I'm a failure, I know things that others don't, making me a winner, okay? At the end of the day, it's like that with you as well. A lot of you are so psychically in tune. You're so spiritual. You're so advanced in that way that you had to sacrifice something for that. What did you sacrifice? You sacrificed the same thing most people had given to them. You had to give away. Okay? You had to give away. One of the biggest things that was coming through in a channeled message a couple weeks ago, a lot of star seeds, you signed a contract, a soul contract before incarnating, that you would be poor before 2019 and 2020, that you wouldn't actually have money invested in a lot of the stock market that's falling and failing and everything's kind of going under right now. You signed a contractual agreement not to have funds invested in that, because it would have kept you up at night. It would have kept you from your purpose. It would have kept you thinking and fearing. So you never would have made it this far in your spiritual ascension. You wouldn't have gotten through a threshold. You wouldn't have gotten to a portal, okay? So a lot of you took a vow of poverty unknowingly, consciously. You didn't know it at a conscious level. But at a subconscious level, you did, because you came here as a starseed to help the collective. You couldn't have done your life mission had you been extremely wealthy. So what you're seeing now is a lot of people that gained their wealth at a very young age, or not even young, it doesn't have to be young, but people that have been wealthy or had something handed to them, they are now being faced with the same reality that you've already faced. What is the purpose of it if you have all this money and no one to either share it with, a collective to help with it, knowing who to give to, when to draw boundaries, when not to? You learned these things and others did not yet, right? So what you're witnessing right now is a transference of wealth. And it was really interesting. I was watching Queen Cup. I love her. I love her channel. Queen Cup, she's a high priestess. She's a prophet, okay? And she was talking about how all the third world countries that were not doing well because of the food shortage is actually turning into first world countries now due to exports. So now they have the real food, and it's exactly the same with you beautiful people. Exactly the same scenario. As above, so below. It's happening globally, but it's also happening in a personal level too. So those of you who took that vow of poverty, right? Those of you who took your spiritual journey, your spiritual health, far more serious than your material and financial well-being, right? Your stability looked a little shady for the last maybe 10 years or so. I am here to tell you there is good news around the corner. Spirit is working miracles for people like you. It is time. It is time for a shift. It is time for the underdogs, right? The last to be the first. It is time for the last to be the first. And what you are noticing right now are the first are about to be the last. The first, those proud, hoity-toity, very proud and boldly proud too. Like, hey, I've got everything and I know it. Okay. The Lord has a really funny way of humbling people in that way, in that instance. You know it. I know it. We've all been humbled a few thousand times, it feels. So we know how that feels. So it's okay. But what you're going to be witnessing is truth happen now. Truth being exposed. Okay. These are going to be subscribers that you're subscribed to. These are going to be people that, you know, you trusted. These are going to be politicians. These are going to be, this is everything, guys. This isn't just like a small little thing. Okay? Holy Spirit, please channel this message. Please allow me to speak accurately to the collective that needs to hear it at this time. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Please allow me to speak honestly and openly about what is coming through. Thank you. We have wisdom here. Wisdom. Action. Balance, protection, nourishment. There it is, that food I was getting. Focus. You're going to really see a lot of these countries become the main focus. Yeah, look at this, beginnings. There's going to be a transfer of wealth. A transfer of wealth that is happening. Wow. I didn't think it was going to be this extreme of a message, but I guess it is. I didn't know what would come through, but I guess I'm glad. It's a deep message, that's for sure. It's not always easy to relay these messages. We have beauty here. And then creation. Let's see, let's tune in here. What is the wisdom here? See, the reason that a lot of us were in poverty, and I can speak from this, I can speak from experience. It's not maybe one of the most proud things I've ever admitted, but it is true. My business failed. I failed. I think a lot of the reason most of us were without was so that we could focus on our spiritual matters. It's very important. But you didn't know how important it was. You had no idea what you were sacrificing. You knew that you just didn't get to have the wealth, the material abundance, the huge life, the big Maserati, the mansion. You just knew that you didn't get to have that while everyone else did. And a lot of you were even trying your best to manifest that. What I'm also hearing is a lot of you dropped out of college. You stopped going to school because you didn't believe in it. You didn't trust what you were being taught. I get that. There was a sacrifice you made. And it has not paid off yet. A lot of you got out of the system. You got out of the system and now you're watching it collapse. And it's kind of irony, isn't it? Wow, we have Page of Pentacles confirming the wisdom card here. Exactly. So the Page is a student, right? But we have the Pentacles meaning magic. But this is not like typical magic. This is like using the law of attraction, which is not magic. It's just reality. The law is the law, right? You studied something, you learned something, but then you backed out of it to approach something that seems a little bit more fantastical. It seems more fantasy. It's more not as dignified. I guess I should call it magic. Magic. Saying things like, yeah, I can manifest something out of thin air like that. Your family probably called you crazy, right? So on top of the wisdom card, we have the Page of Pentacles here, meaning you had to sacrifice something in order to gain a wisdom and be the student of life again, right? You could have learned from a professor something else, but you didn't. And ironically enough, you're witnessing now the fall of that anyway. So if you were to, look at colleges right now, look at the whole structure. Look at the whole thing. Even look at our healthcare system right now. Look at all of it. You have to really appreciate that you were pulled out of the toxic situation. You know what I mean? Like, we're really having to see Babylon the Great for what the fuck it is, okay? And a lot of us right now, we're pulled out of that. And we have to be a little bit more grateful to see that we were pulled out. Thank you so much, God. You know what I mean? I went to college. I dropped out. I didn't believe it. I was being taught redundant things. They never even implemented at all any of the energy healing or any of the woo-woo esoteric stuff that, I know exists and I could feel existed. So there's a fall of an empire, and it's the fall of Babylon. Babylon the Great, meaning it's the matrix itself. It's not really people, it's paradigms. The real things under judgment from God, right? The real structures under judgment are not people. These are corporations, governments, agencies, countries, right? Establishments, religions. This is not people that are under judgment, okay? Not under God's judgment. All right, so what do we have action here? Confirm action, please. Yeah, so you went from the Page to the Queen, but in theory only, in your own mind. You haven't seen the 3D match up to that yet. In your own mind, you learned, so now you can teach. However, there is not any proof. It doesn't seem that there is proof yet. So what you're actually noticing right now, a lot of people who are very insecure within themselves are feeling they have to prove something right now. May it be material wealth, abundance. Hey, I'm this rich. Here's how I can show you. I'm going to go buy a new whatever. And I'm not even judging people that do that. Go buy 5 new cars if you have the money for it. If you love it, go do it. But what you are noticing is like, is there a spiritual element in any of this? What is that doing? What is that perpetuating right now? Right? Buying your 3rd Maserati, as much as that's amazing, congratulations. What is that doing? What culture is that feeding? What is that putting your energy into? What could you be doing with it instead? How could you be helping people with that 3rd Maserati instead? So this is a really big wake-up call for God's people right now to really use discernment about who you're following. Okay? By you giving energy to that viewer, that content creator, okay, you are voting with your eyeballs. You're voting with your energy, right? You're voting with your time, with your view, with your click. And in voting, that person then is emboldened to do something. Either take their money and buy a Maserati, or buy their money and use their money and maybe start a nonprofit or an energy healing center. Or do you know what I'm saying? It really is right now up to us, the little guy. The little guy. We make up the conglomerate. It's we the people anyway. It's we the people, guys. Right? Vote with your eyeballs, vote with your clicks, vote with your likes, vote with your subscriptions, okay? So while you went from the page to the queen, so now you can teach about this, a lot of you are worried because you're like, but look, when it comes to the 3D stuff, I'm still the page. People still look at me like I'm ignorant. They still look at me like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And honey, I know. Like, honestly, guys, if I could pour my heart into this and tell you, I know what it's like to know abundance and have it taken. I know what it's like to lose it all. But I also know what it's like to gain something that can never be taken from you. And I'm getting really passionate about this because it's important. It's important to me. When it comes to the 3D, yeah, on paper, my life looks like shit. It does. But internally, I can sit in peace and meditation for hours a day and love my life. Talk to my higher self, talk to God, pray, cast out demons from people. Like, my life is content. I love my life. But when it comes to the 3D, yeah, technically speaking, it doesn't look great on paper. Right? So if right now you guys are like me, driving a beater, right? I got an '09 Malibu sitting in the parking lot. Like, I've got nothing fancy. If you're living that life right now, I want to tell you there's so much beauty coming for you, okay? There's so much here. It reminds me, I was with a client yesterday, and we were talking about an apple orchard, the symbolism of an apple orchard that I saw in a vision recently. And here he is, and I'm going to cry because it was just so beautiful. It reminds me of what we were talking about. There were fields of apples, apple trees, and this person in the vision was a leader leading leaders, a true leader. He was taking apples from he was teaching men how to take apples from the tree and go sell them. It was symbolic. It meant plucking the apple meant taking wisdom and giving it away, right? So this was a page doing it, though. There's no crown on this man's head in the vision. And it's all about the Christ consciousness. It really is truly gorgeous. It's going to make me cry because it's Spirit is channeling right now, and it's so beautiful. So the apple orchard symbolized the harvest right now, right? The end days, what we're here to do. It symbolized the love for humanity. This man who owned the apple orchard was teaching other men how to take the apples and give it out. Leaders leading leaders, right? That's what this page is, but this page is not wealthy. This page doesn't have money, right? I mean, Jesus rode a donkey. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't out there sporting a Maserati. And so my client and I were discussing how sometimes it can feel so downright debilitating to be worried about rent, to be worried about the financial difficulties that come with people who are like her and I, prophets. We don't always get huge platforms to speak on. We don't always have a Maserati, sitting in our garage. But what we do know is how to make ends meet. What we do know is how to love people. What we do know how to do is make somebody smile. What we do know how to do is forgive people effortlessly and easily. What we do know how to do is help leaders lead leaders. We know how to do that. So you went from the page to the queen, but in theory only. You didn't get to see how much you grew, how much you actually transitioned into the Queen of Pentacles until now. You will not be seeing it until now. The year 2022, look at that, 22 right up there. There it is. This year. Wow. And if you add up 2022, that's the number 6, and we have 6 here. Waiting Gibbous 6. The Lover's year, right? The year of the lovers. So ironically, we have 6 right next to it too. 1 + 5 is 6. So you don't get to see it until this year. You didn't get to see it until this year. And most of you haven't even seen your fruits come in. You haven't seen this come in yet. You feel like the Queen of Pentacles, but your bank account shows the page, right? And a lot of you right now are feeling like, should I even try to teach or lead or, because it's like people think I'm ignorant. Let them think what they want to think, honey. Let them think what they want to think. When this madness and chaos clouds their vision because they don't know the true source within, let them think what they want to think. What you are really witnessing is the zombie apocalypse. No shit. You're witnessing people who are spiritually dead come to life. That's what you're watching. You're watching it live time. There is no fear. There is no fear in love. You are pure love. There is no fear, but you're watching it. So let these confused souls tell you who you are and realize it's a projection. Take your power back and say, that shit ain't mine. I don't fucking think so. I'm the Queen of Pentacles. You don't talk to me like that. What is balance here for, Spirit? You all signed up for this. You signed up for poverty mindset because and what took you so far down is what got you to see magic. You had to believe in something bigger because you went so far down the rabbit hole, into poverty, into sadness, into divorce, into loss, into 10 years of agony for some of you. Wow, there, you cannot make it up. King of Pentacles with the 5 of Swords on top of the balance card. How ironic is that? On top of the balance, you have the King to the Queen? That's kind of funny. It's a little ironic. It's as if there was always something missing. The sternness of the king. Again, like I said, the page had no crown, right? The king does. But a lot of you were so afraid of being that resistance, being that one that would be like, look, I have a crown, don't fucking talk to me like that again. Which is exactly what I just did. That's when the King of Pentacles came out. A lot of you were so afraid of being in your dominant masculine energy because you knew that that would cause conflict and chaos. But ironically, that ship has sailed. You already did. You created it in 2019. The masculine within all of us created that. So I love this so far. You have the king, the queen, and the page. It's gorgeous. It really is one of the coolest readings I've ever given. The reason that a lot of you are like, yeah, but see, so-and-so thinks that I'm poor and I can't do it. And okay, let them think that. Inside, you felt wealthy. But again, in the material world, in the material plane, you were missing something. It was the masculine energy within you shining, embodying this masculine energy. Again, we have masculine and feminine within all of us. You were missing the balance, right? Because a lot of you needed the protection first. You needed the protection first. That is what you're witnessing right now. People that did not find spiritual protection before going out and doing this. They don't know thyself, right? Know thyself, they didn't learn. So a lot of you had no idea that you were even imbalanced until now you're seeing that other people are imbalanced. Another 6 here, 2 + 4, another 6, which is the number for harmony and balance, by the way. Numerologically speaking, that is literally the card for balance. 6, the Lovers, duality between feminine and masculine energies. What you're realizing now is the protection was something your inner king was going to give you. Your inner king, no one else's. It's not a husband, it's not a boyfriend, it's not your boss, it's your inner king, your inner Christ, your Christ consciousness, right? The true king in the north, guys, the true king in the motherfucking north. You guys needed to see that you were protected by your own king in the north, but you will never be able to see that you are protected by your true king in the north unless you are in conflict. How would you know? You would never know protection of the divine if you didn't know the opposite of the divine. Right? Give me 1 card for the protection, please, Spirit. Or 2. Okay. Ooh, you'll love to see it. More pentacles. Mainly this protection was people who were spying your abundance. See, the reason I did this video was because someone had just shown all of their receipts, basically everything they've ever made, what they make online and stuff. And I'm not saying that that's not, whatever. Hey, if that's how you create, do so. If you're a content creator and that's what you want to do is post all of your bank accounts and stuff, do so. But what I'm saying is there's a level of protection that you have from spies, from people who are watching you and your abundance that is about to come in. You needed this protection first, right? Why? Because now you freaking enter the promised land. Now you get the wealth. Now you get the abundance, right? Now you get the fruit. Look at the fruit there. But now you're going to have spies. You're going to have people watching you. You needed to have the protection. You needed to learn all about spiritual warfare, spiritual protection. That's why you took a vow of poverty all your life until now. Until right the fuck now. And I'm noticing how the bird right here has a red thing on its head. Who the hell knows what that is? I have no idea. But this bird also has a red crown as well. I don't know what that's about, but that's pretty cool. Oh, they're telling me red. Red hat. They're telling me red as in the root chakra. The root chakra, the red on this bird's head. Meaning you now know how to intuitively interpret where to find your wealth. You know where to use these signs and symbols from spirit to find your wealth. Wow, this is one of the most incredible readings ever. You're going to have people watching you, stalking you, watching every move you make because you are extremely abundant. You're about to be extremely abundant. You needed this protection, guys. You needed it. How would you have ever found it if you hadn't gone through the dark night of the soul first? You never would have found it. You never would appreciate any of it. Right? Knowing your higher self, being in alignment with your Christ consciousness, knowing what it's like to be in poverty so you can experience the abundance, both in love and wealth as well. Right? Having extreme poverty so you can experience extreme wealth. You never would have appreciated that shit. Okay? Now, Spirit is telling me down here, these cards are for your new life. This was your old. This is your new. What is nourishment here? Extreme poverty to extreme wealth. She has an overabundance of fruit. She has an overabundance of vegetables. There's an overabundance here. From one extreme to the other. Even the moon is made of cheese. Milk running. It's milk and honey. That's what this is. Extreme poverty and extreme wealth. The down and out. The down and out. Becoming the source of nourishment. You now have more than enough. More than enough. And I just got third world issues again, is what I heard. Because we got this island here. And the fish. Yeah, this is giving me Jesus vibes here. Like, guys, these countries that have all the resources now, they're going to be, oh my God, they're going to be doing so well. It's going to be insane to witness. This is the time to be alive, I'll tell you that. This is going to be the craziest shit you've ever seen in your life. So when Jesus would feed all of everyone, not only the disciples, but, those hundreds of people, it just kept coming. The bread and the fish, it just kept producing more and more and more. And a lot of you don't even believe that that's possible. A lot of you, one example I want to give is that I have this facial cleanser in my shower. And I actually, just the other day, I picked up the bottle, I felt it. I was like, my God, this is still almost full. I've had it a year. I use it like every day and it just keeps refilling itself. I don't know how it's happening, but that shit was like $12 for a bottle. And I'm like, wow, am I grateful that this keeps refilling itself? Okay, thank you so much. But it's like that. There was a story in the Bible too about, I can't remember what it was, but I thought it was a thing of sugar. I can't remember if it was Esther. It was a woman. I can't remember what it was, but the sugar kept replenishing itself, if I'm not mistaken, in the book of the Bible. And it's very similar to what is happening right now with you guys. There's going to be something that happens. You're like, wow, that just keeps refilling itself. I don't know how. I thought I had like less, but it seems to be, it's fine. You know what I mean? It's like, for instance, toilet paper. A couple times I've looked at my toilet paper and I'm like, wow, I'm not doing really well with toilet paper. I need to get some more. Next thing I know, boom, there's like 3 or 4 more rolls. It's just an example, but it's like that. It's like you're shifting timelines anyway, guys. This is why this shit works. You're shifting timelines to where there's 3 or 4 more rolls there for you, okay? Because you are already in abundance. Materially speaking, yeah. You don't drive a Maserati, but if you have 4 rolls of toilet paper, honey, you're winning. Do you hear what I'm saying? Okay, let's find more out about this focus card here. Focus. Ooh, I'm noticing the butterfly on her third eye. Yeah, I'm hearing you're sitting down to focus on things. You're sitting down. This is a meditation. This is meditation, this card. People are going to be noticing something different about you. I heard my head underwater by Avril Lavigne. God, keep my head above water. Here's the thing. Glass half full. So I just mentioned the toilet paper thing. You guys, people are noticing how you keep, there's something about you. It's like, how if your life looks like shit, are you still half full? I don't get that. I don't get it. Why do you still have all this like optimism? Look at the fucking world. Well, I think that a lot of you are like, that's exactly why I have optimism. I'm looking at the world. What I see is the fall of a diseased one. What I see is the fall of an empire that honestly needed to be let go of a long fucking time ago. So a lot of you right now are actually positive and optimistic because you're seeing the fall of Babylon, is what you're witnessing right now. Also, Spirit is telling me that when you meditate, there's something here about you are focusing on something with your third eye, and this is going to be granting you access to something. Give me more on that. Yeah, I'm noticing how the Queen of Cups, this is the cups. It's water, right? I'm getting cups here. This is her. This is her. Look at how she's laser focused on this. She's only focusing on shit that's going right, right? So in meditation, you guys sit there and you're like, wow, I love that I can breathe today. That was such a great meal. I love that I just ate, yeah, leftovers, sure. And it wasn't lobster, but man, that shit was good, right? Rice and beans never tasted so damn good. So you guys right now are focusing on the plenty when everybody else is focusing on the lack. So we have the Queen of Cups here on the focus card, and she's focusing on something, laser focused. She won't break her focus. This is what people are noticing about you, and it's really alarming. It's really shocking because what it's showing people is they don't know how to do it, which is why people are losing their damn minds. They don't know how to do it. They never learned how to do it. If you were like me, you were told 10 years ago that meditation is of the devil. You did it anyway, thank God, right? But you were told that's a doorway to devils. Well, congratulations. Those people who refused you into the kingdom of heaven by going within have now refused themselves. It is quite the turn of events here. A lot of the people that have convinced you what you were doing was toxic or wrong are now those that are actually at a loss, and they're regretting everything they ever did, said, or thought about you. Focus, please. What is this? There it is. 5 of Wands. So we have 1 + 4 is 5, and we have the 5 of Wands here.